What's up guys, Cyber Houdini here and welcome to the Game of the Year 2019. It's been a awesome year. We started off really strong, got a kind of little bit of a drought in the middle like it does every year, and then we finished really strong. I had a lot of fun this year. Over the course of the year, looking back, I think I played over 30 games, which when you think about it, you don't seem like you played a lot, but when you look at it like that in that list, you're like, holy crap, that's a lot of games. And 2020 is going to be no slouch. I cannot wait for next year. But this year, we have to put all the video games together, all the experiences we had, and do a top 10 games of the year list. It's like a buffet, all you can eat. Trying to remember all those memories, yeah, good luck with that. But look, we're going to go through them. I'm excited. I think this year has been one of the more tougher years because there's not really been a true like standout 10 out of 10 game for me. There's been a lot of like 9s, 9.5s, that kind of stuff, you know. But we're going to break them down, top 10. Let's get things started. Number 10. Alright, number 10 is Pokemon Sword and Shield. We're kicking it off with Pokemon. I enjoyed the hell out of Pokemon this year. It's the first mainline generation of Pokemon on the Switch. And it's no slouch, all set in the Galar region. It's kind of reminiscent of the UK. I really love the starters, Scorbunny, Grookey, and Sobble. I know there was a lot of trouble over the national decks and all that crap, but it's just a lot of privileged fans, I think. That's a lot of nonsense. When I grew up with Pokemon, and I had 150, and then Silver came out and added like another 80 or 100 or something. You know, you didn't have that many Pokemon back then. This game has over 400 Pokemon, and that's more than enough. Jesus Christ, I can't catch them all. I'm getting old trying to catch them all. But it's a lot of fun. If you can see kind of the background, it's you have this new wild area, just huge open world area. Definitely taking a nod from Breath of the Wild, which is not a bad thing. And it also comes with these raids, which is Pokemon's version of an actual raid from a shooter you might have played or something like that, where you can join up with people taking on these giant Dynamax style Pokemon. They are a lot of fun. You can play them offline or online. There they are there, and you can get some really rare Pokemon, and pretty much if you manage to defeat the Pokemon, you get to catch it pretty much for free. And that includes like some really tough rare Pokemon. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Making the Pokemon go Dynamax, like turn them into massive huge Pokemon, is, you know, this year's gimmick. It's okay. It's kind of like Mega Evolutions. I was never a big fan of that stuff. If you're going to do a new form, just let me be that form. This thing of one per battle always annoyed the crap out of me. It reminds me of Digimon. Digimon's like, let's Digivolve, and then you're back, there's a tiny baby after all that. Anyway, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I have not finished it yet, but I know it's only going to get better from here. I'm excited to see what the end game is like as well, because these games always kind of excelled in the third version. You know, you had your Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald came along with the Battle Frontier and all that was really good. And then you'd Gold and Silver. Gen 2 will always be my favorite. I loved it. These are the new Pokemon gyms. They're like fucking soccer matches, you know. The whole thing is so British, it's crazy. I love it. I enjoyed it. It still suffers from the issue that Let's Go has, and pretty much a lot of the new Pokemon games, that it is far too easy for us guys, us hardcore fan from years and years ago. Those games are still tougher than the ones nowadays, but you know, new generations and all that. Anyway, so that's number 1. Number 10 on the list, the first game is Pokemon Sword and Shield. Absolute cracking fun. Like I said, all these games are pretty much high up, like 9s, you know. It was just a matter of putting them in the list. Alright, on to number 9. Number 9. Number 9 on the list is The Outer Worlds. This is Obsidian's new baby. The guys who brought you Fallout New Vegas. And what a game. What a way to come back. These guys have a huge future ahead of them, and I cannot wait to see what else they do. Microsoft have just purchased them as well, which is pretty insane. Probably off the back of The Outer Worlds. This is the best Fallout game we have gotten in years, hands down, and it's not even from Bethesda. This is a kick up the ass for Bethesda, and I hope to God they learn their lesson. The Outer Worlds is Mass Effect meets Fallout, without a shadow of a doubt. It's so much fun. It's not as big an open world as a Fallout, just because I think the team is a bit smaller, and it's a brand new engine, brand new IP. I mean, they've done a fantastic job with it. I love it from beginning to end. I can't wait to see. I know the story DLC coming next year as well. That's going to be sweet. But they've got everything right, even their own little version of VATS without, you know, pissing Bethesda off. Nobody wants to piss them guys off, right? But I love it. I love the voice acting's incredible. Some of the companions are nearly more fun than the main character himself, especially when you got like actresses like Ashley Birch and stuff. I mean, come on. The guns feel great. They give you so many guns so quick. You just feel spoiled. And I'm loving the planets so far. We'll see how things work out. Hell yes. So I'm excited for, I hope this kicks off a new franchise. I'm so down for an Outer Worlds 2, you know, with bigger budget, bigger worlds, and maybe some actual space travel. Hell yes. Now, no, it might seem a little low on the list, but I guarantee you, they're all 9s. They're all 9s in my books, and this game is a must play. Hands down. Number 8. Number 8 on the list is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening Remake. This was awesome. I think this is my, there's like 2 Switch games that are on the list. Hell yes. This is my first year having the Switch, and I've yet to play Breath of the Wild. But my god, this remake was something else. To go from like, what was it, 92, 93 on the Game Boy Color all the way to the Switch, it's beautiful. It's like, oh man, it's like going back to your childhood, even though it looks so much better now. Ooh, it looks like like a pop-up book or one of those kind of little play sets you got like Playmobil or something as a kid, all brought to life. I mean, it's gorgeous. The music spot on. Everything just works, you know. There is a little bit of a stutter here and there because it wasn't done, I think, by Nintendo themselves. But my god, it is such a faithful reenact. I even love the idea of making your own dungeons, which was their way of creating kind of a Zelda Maker inside the game, you know. With Mario Maker being so huge, Nintendo wanted to continue that. So they've added that, so you can make your own dungeons. I mean, it's gorgeous. I even love what they did with the reimagining of the cutscenes and that, you know. I had so much fun playing this. It feels incredible handheld, you know, as it should, you know. I love it. I love it from beginning to end. I mean, there's not really much more I can say. If you're down for a Zelda, you need to play this, and you got the Switch, hell yes. This is perfect for all ages as well. What a game. Alright, on to number 7. Number 7. Number 7 on the list is Control. This is Remedy Entertainment's new baby. If you don't know those guys, they have made incredible games like the original Max Payne and Quantum Break and of course Alan Wake. I feel like they go from strength to strength to strength, and I don't know how a big publisher hasn't snapped these guys up. But Control is so much fun. It's like Twin Peaks meets fucking X-Files at moments, you know, like you're inside this building for the whole game, but every floor is batshit insane. Oh, I love it. It's true Remedy mastercraft in storytelling that they are. I love it. I hope we get an Alan Wake 2. I know it's becoming a running joke now. Everyone's like, do people actually want this game? And I'm like, fuck yes, I do. But Control is so much fun. Look at that flight. Oh, I had so much fun with this game. One of the most visually impressive games on console as well. Like, just the amount of debris everywhere. What's funny is we got this game, what was it, like August, I think, August, September, and it came before Jedi Fallen Order, and it was like a taste of things to come. Like, she has all these force push powers and just being able to levitate. There was so many great touches as well. Like, when I finally got the levitate power, just having the ability to move around, that kind of freedom, you could see her moving things on the desk below it, you know, you could feel the power that she was there. It's just little touches like that. I mean, I absolutely love Remedy, and I can't wait to see where they go from here, you know. I think they've already won a couple of Game of the Year awards, and they definitely deserve it. The music is awesome. Voice acting is there. There was some great little moments. Like, the side quests are so worth it. It was almost like, oh, what's that game everyone loves? It's like, they go through different, like, weird alien projects or whatever and do different things. I don't know what the hell it was called. I never played it, but in this game, it's like that. Each room, each containment seems to have another weird little thing, like the famous fridge, that if you did not stop looking at it, it would eat you. Oh, it was so crazy. So we happened upon it. I know it's a bit spoilery, but this guy was staring at the fridge for 3 days without blinking. It was insane. It was insane. Let me just tell you, you gotta see the end of that. You've gotta see the end of that quest. It was so good. And the maze as well. Like, look at this. It's kind of spoilery, but damn, this game is fun from beginning to end. The map kind of sucks, though. That's the only issue. That's the only issue. But Control is so much fun. Here's to you, Remedy. I will play whatever you guys put out. Hell yes! On to number 6. Let's go! Number 6. Number 6 on the list is Days Gone. This is Sony Ben's new game and hopefully new franchise. I have to say this is one of the most underappreciated games of the year without a shadow of a doubt. Sony Ben are responsible for the Siphon Filter series, but this is their brand new game. Oh my god, I freaking love this game. It's a mix of World War Z meets Sons of Anarchy and a little bit of Last of Us thrown in there. I think it actually does zombie hordes better than World War Z. Do you remember the movie where all the zombies would crawl on the wall? That never translated to the games or pretty much any game until freaking Days Gone. When they say the horde is coming, they mean it. One horde I ran into, I felt like I was fighting over 500 zombies. They were just pouring out. On stream, I was just like, what? I would die a whole lot. It's so cool. The story itself is a little bit longer than it should be. I feel like the last quarter just completely drags out the story a little bit, and that's a little unfortunate, but overall, it feels fantastic. I think the bike handles really well. A lot of people have issue with it, but I feel like as you level up the bike and get faster, it kind of comes into its own, if that makes any sense, you know? Because, you know, when it's a hulking thing, you know? I enjoyed pretty much everything about this. I love the dodge mechanic, and just moving around felt really good. It was kind of spooky at times as well with the frickin'... Look, there's one of the hordes right there. Very famous trailer here at this sawmill where they pour over that bridge up there. And people were like, that'll never happen. See? That really does happen. It really does. You might not get the best angle because you're running for your life, but hell yes. I love upgrading the bike. There's a lot of cool stuff there. Another thing that has to be said about Days Gone is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is incredible. They've got some, you know, real licensed music from bands and that. They're fantastic. You've got some of those very, like, somber, quiet moments, really powerful moments like Red Dead always did. I see a lot of games taking a page out of Red Dead's book. Even Red Dead 2 did it. But I feel like it's even more powerful in Days Gone. I'll never forget the bit riding up into the snowy mountains. I had to stop and just listen to the music because it caught me, you know? It really caught me. The supporting cast is fantastic. I mean, the main character is played by Sam Witwer. You might remember him from, let's see, what was he? He was in Smallville for season 8, like he was Doomsday and that. He's done a lot. Like he was the main character, Starkiller in this Force Unleashed games as well. So he's no stranger to doing video games, and he does a wonderful job. Like most main characters fall short, I feel, in video games because they half want you to put yourself in their shoes and the other half like telling you a story. There is one bit I feel like kind of falls flat at the end, but definitely worth staying around till after the credits. Some really cool teasers for the next game. I hope to see these guys doing well because it's been a long time since they've done a game. I'd like to see them do a sequel of Days Gone and bring back Siphon Filter. I'm happy. That's another big Sony studio that is definitely coming out of the gate. Like, if you were to compare this to something over on Microsoft side, the closest thing would be State of Decay. And in my personal opinion, I think it is twice the game State of Decay is. There's just more purpose to it. It's a single player game, you know, and I'll always be single player first. Anyway, Days Gone. If you haven't played it already, you got it. It's definitely most underappreciated game of 2019. Easy. On to number 5. Number 5. Number 5 on the list is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. This was From Software's brand new IP. Kind of came out of nowhere and released very quick. I mean, this game is one of From Software's probably most argued over game, you know. I mean, Dark Souls 2 before, definitely, but this game, either the fans love it or the fans hate it. It's as simple as that. It's very different. No longer are you tied to that stamina bar. Now you can just swing away, Meryl. But I enjoyed my time with it. I mean, it's feudal Japan. It's so different. I love new IP, and coming from Software, I couldn't ask for more than this. Like, I still think it's not From Software firing on all cylinders. It very much actually feels like the Dark Souls 2 team taking over, you know, while the main team are working on Elden Ring, which is supposed to be out in 2020. Cannot wait for that. We'll see how things go with that. That'll be on my most anticipated list. Yes, indeed. But I enjoyed my time with this. I really loved the use of the mini-bosses. Pretty much like what we love in most of the From Software games, where you come across an enemy that is not like the other little shits, you know. He's tough as nails and he's gonna kill you maybe even more times than the boss. and they took that on their on its fucking wings and just ran with it, you know. So many little mini bosses and generals. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This game, I think, used so much more strategy. Like, for someone like me who's pretty much a novice at these games, I like to brute force my way through them, and it's fun, frustrating, and so beautiful, and that payoff, you know. In this game, you are punished. It's learn to parry or die. But I really did enjoy it. I loved breaking down each boss. I loved the endings. I actually loved having more of a focused character. Yes, it didn't make much room for builds. That's the real big downfall of Sekiro. You're kind of stuck with the same dude from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. So it's either really get good or die trying over and over again. Every From Software game, right? It's funny, like, Jedi Fallen Order came out, and I feel like it takes more from Sekiro than it ever did from the Souls games. But I enjoyed this. My main issue for Sekiro, right, this is just me alone, straight up, it is too short. It's too short. Fair enough, you might get stuck at a boss, like, for an hour or whatever, but I feel like Sekiro is way too short. It could have done with a nice, meaty DLC, and I don't see that coming. They pretty much, at this point, confirmed that nothing's coming. If they were going to announce something, they would announce it at Gamescom, or not Gamescom, I suppose. But even just the Game Awards, right? They actually end up winning overall Game of the Year for 2019 at the Game Awards, which was a complete surprise to me. Like, I think it's a fantastic game, so very solid. It's still miles above like any Souls-like wannabe game, you know, which have become so many over the last couple of years. I mean, you can say what you want, but over the decade, From Software have been such a huge influence on the whole industry, from 2D to 3D games, you know. A lot of people hate this, and it's become a joke about, oh, it plays so much like Dark Souls, but I'm sorry, if there's a way of losing your currency and picking it back up in your next death, and there's bonfires and checkpoints, and you know, you can see, and stamina bar, you can definitely see a lot of influences in games. You cannot deny that. Even down to the Neos, which is one people do not like people comparing to. But we'll be getting Neo too, we'll see. Anyway, so that is number 5. Number 5, Sekiro. Number 4. Number 4 on the list is Resident Evil 2 Remake. This was a beautiful surprise, and I'm so in love with the fact that Capcom keep bringing out Resident Evils at the start of the year. Like, we had Resident Evil 7 January 2017, then we had Resident Evil 2, I think it was February of this year. And yeah, like, a lot of people kind of forgot about this because it's a little while ago, but now that we've got the announcement of Resident Evil 3 Remake, holy shit, I didn't think we would ever get that this soon. My god, Capcom are on fire. This is the RE engine. I remember when they showed off this trailer, and it's like, what are we, a mouse? What are we? No one knew what it was. What a great trailer. What a great reveal. The same way how they did Resident Evil 3 Remake. You're like, is this Project Resistance? Blah, blah. Anyway, so the RE engine kind of was this long engine that Capcom were making, and they first showed it off for Resident Evil 7, and it blew people away, but everyone was a little bit taken aback because of the first person thing. But then came Devil May Cry 5, Monster Hunter World, and then Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake, all using this RE engine. And let me tell you, I think it's one of my favorite engines right now. It is gorgeous. I mean, you always see the Unreal Engine, and then you've got like fucking, what was it, Frostbite over EA. They'll keep screwing up games with it. There's some very impressive engines out there, but the RE engine is gorgeous, and I secretly hope they remake Code Veronica X. Would be great. Even 0 and 1 again as well. I know that's pretty cheeky of me, but I can't help myself. God damn, this game was a beautiful surprise. I think they did a great job. They gave Leon and Claire a little bit of a makeover, including everything else, but that's something that kind of comes with the new engine, you know. I think it's a very faithful reimagining of the series. It's a little bit short as well. I know that's what I keep giving about, but a couple of areas missing and a couple of enemies missing. That was the only little thing. And then as you move into more 3D open world areas, they actually tend to get smaller. This is the same thing that happened with Pokemon. Whereas the old remakes and that, where it felt like it took you longer to get through hallways, now it just feels like you can see the bottom of the hallway. I suppose once you remove the fixed camera angle, right? I don't miss it. I'm not gonna lie. I was never too big a fan of the tank controls. The fixed camera angles though were fantastic for its time, but it's nice not to have the door loading screen and that. I mean, they're always there if you want to play them. That's the beauty of it, you know. This does not retcon or destroy the originals. This is just a new reimagining of it, and I love every second of it. The sound design is incredible. Mr. X, holy crap! How many memes did he generate? Jesus Christ! We even the liquor. Yes, they did an incredible job on the liquor. Fingers crossed they do a great job on the hunters for Resident Evil 3. There was like a Hunter B, right, where it's all like fucking mutated and shit. And of course Nemesis. I just want to see Nemesis and Mr. X face off, please. That's going to be fun. But Jesus, what a remake. That's definitely one for the must play as well. And if you're new to the Resident Evil series, I would definitely say start with this. Start with 7, whichever you want. Bring on Resident Evil 8, because I think Capcom are back and I am with you guys, do or die till the end. Hell yes. On number 3. Number 3 in the top 10 games of the year is Jedi Fallen Order. This is Respawn's brand new Star Wars game, and hallelujah, we finally got a good Star Wars game. How long has it been? It only took Respawn, who are usually multiplayer, they made their very first single player game, third person, and they nailed it. They nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. Wow, what a game. Now that like Star Wars fever is in its peak right now with the new movie coming out, the Mandalorian TV show, and a cracking game, you've got 3 mediums right there. You know, like, you can say whatever you want about each of them. That's fine, but damn. Christ, it almost takes me back to my younger days when I was getting ready for the prequels, you know? Shiny little cyber. But let's get back to Jedi Fallen Order. Like I said, I'm a massive fan of Respawn. Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2's campaign story was incredible. I mean, Apex Legends actually turns out to be the best competitor to Fortnite. Who knew? Who knew? And they started working on this. Now, it looks like this is done very well, and we very possibly could have a franchise on our hands. I hope so. I enjoyed the hell out of this game. Oh man, this is definitely a must play for any fans of Star Wars in general. Like I was saying, it does take a good bit from SEKIRO, where you've got this kind of block meter, which allows you to, you know, block blasters and just, you know, parrying and blocking. That's what the combat is all about. There's the Purge Troopers. A lot of fun. The biggest downfall of Jedi Fallen Order right now is performance. Even no matter what console you're on, even the big babies and even PC, it runs pretty rough. It's got to be said. The longer you go into the game, it gets to the point of, you know, just falling down. So that's kind of what brings it down a little bit on the list. I mean, number 3 is still pretty impressive. It's still pretty new in my mind as well. The other little thing that I knock is the main character, Cal. I feel like he is... there's not enough interesting thing about him. He's very, very boring as a character, you know. You get to flashback to a little bit of his Padawan training and that, and Order 66, some cool stuff like that, but never actually any backstory about him or anything, who he is, where he came from, any of these stuff, you know. It's a little unfortunate, so we'll see. The subtitle on the game is Star Wars Jedi, and then the subtitle stops there and it's Fallen Order. So I'm thinking there's a possibility that the Fallen Order bit could be taken out and we could jump around the timeline a little bit. Like, my idea I would love to see is you start off as a Jedi and you fall to the dark side. So you start off the game with all of the same similar powers that Cal has, you know, that you've learned from the first game, and then they turned it on its head. The last good real single player, there we go, single player Star Wars games we got were Force Unleashed, and I think this blows the Force Unleashed games out of the water. I think it's way more hands-on. Doesn't feel like you're controlling a block half the time. It's really good. You have way more powers in Force Unleashed, though. That's the only thing. That's the only thing at all. But I am so down. Here's to Respawn having an incredible 2019 and hopefully 2020. Bring it on. Jedi Fallen Order, number 3 on the list. Number 2 on the list is Metro Exodus. This might surprise a lot of people, but it is a game that has not left my mind since I played it early on in the year. I'm a massive fan of the Metro series, and it's one of those series that kind of flies right under the radar. It's beautiful, post-apocalyptic Russian survival game. It's beautiful, and Metro Exodus is incredible. It's like They took everything they learned from the other games on 360 and that, and just went boom. It almost feels like the jump from Witcher 2 to Witcher 3. It's that big. I love it so much. It plays fantastic. I love what they did with the open world. They tied it to an old rundown train that they get running, and you kind of travel on the train to the next area, and then you've got this wide open area, and it's really cleverly done, almost like seasons and that. It's fantastic. Everything I played from the other games, the little bit of jank, the stealth, all that good stuff, that Euro jank as they call it, it all comes back, and it's all just way smoother as well. It's a weird thing. Like, I'm used to it, you know. I love it. I love the whole idea. Look at that fire. God damn. I bet you the graphics are that good on PC. But I played it on, I think it was Xbox One, and I enjoyed every second of it. I love the guns. Artyom is back. What a great character. For a guy who doesn't speak, he has far more character than a lot of people that do. And you've got the whole crew. Anna, of course. She pretty much feels like the main character for me. What a cool character. She just kept getting herself in trouble over and over again. You got these crazy intense moments. The story's fantastic. I love how it kind of does a lot of bait and switch with certain stories. You know, you think you're safe and you are not safe at all. I urge a lot of people to play this game. It's so much fun. I had some fantastic moments, and I end up getting one of the best endings in the series, and I really felt like I earned that playing through the series, you know, that kind of way. Endings are whatever, you know, most endings are like, okay, it is what it is, or you go back and get this one or this one, but I feel like when I got that ending, oh man, it just kind of, it filled up my heart, you know. I was welling up a little bit. It felt fantastic. I hope we get another one. We'll see. It's a beautiful, like, we're so used to post-apocalyptic games, but this one really shines, you know. You do feel like you're in post-apocalyptic Russia. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. You're just traveling all across that very, very dangerous kind of isolated, frozen European north, you know, that kind of way. Oh, what a game. Metro Exodus is the best game in that series, and one of the greatest games on console this year. I enjoyed every second of it. Now comes the time. It didn't take too long. Now comes the final game. My game of the year, 2019. My game of the year for 2019 is Death Stranding. Now, when you didn't see it on the list, a lot of people probably guessed this one, but holy crap, the long wait was over. We finally got to play Kojima's first game after the very, very nasty split from Konami. Fuck the loss. Konami can fuck right off and screw all those guys, but this is him out on his own. Kojima and Kojima Productions did a incredible job with this game. It's one of those games that has split people right down the middle. They either love the game or think it's a walking simulator with Norman Reedus in it. But I had so much fun with this game, so much fun with the streams as well. I feel like it's a great game to stream as well, because you can just kind of take your time and take it. It definitely does feel like an Amazon delivery simulator at times. It's very, very unusual, that side of it. That's the beauty of it, right? That's what kind of dragged me into it and drew me into it even. Was that it was the most unique game I have played in probably a fucking decade, you know? Oh, Jesus, what a weird and strange and beautiful game. Even at the end, in true Kojima form, I sat down for a 2-hour cutscene to tie everything up. It was insane, like a movie, like an absolute movie. Like, even right now, sitting back and thinking about the ending, I've worked out a good few things. There's a couple of things still left on the table, but yeah, it's incredible. The combat was a lot of fun. When you finally get to it, it reveals itself to you. It plays a lot like a Metal Gear. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I wish there was more of it, where they wanted you to be stealthy and hide from those BTs, those nasty ghosts. I was forcing myself into a fight every time. I loved it. It was so very strange. That's the beauty of it. Every time I went to play this game, something weird would happen. I'm like, what the hell is going on now? But I loved it for that, you know, the mystery around the next corner. The biggest thing that kind of divides people, I feel, is the delivering of the packages, right? The Amazon delivery man part. And I completely understand where that's coming from. But there was one moment, like, I was having trouble with it. It was not clicking for me. But there was one moment where I was doing the mountain area with the snow and all that, and it was horrible just climbing cliffs and that, and I really felt like I was putting myself into it. And when I got over the end and I carved my own path through the mountain, it fucking clicked. it all clicked. That payoff, that beautiful payoff, that I had done that with my own 2 feet, with a fetus and Norman Reedus and Steve Buscemi fetus. It was pretty special. Like, I had actually managed to climb over this mountain with these packages, help these people, reconnect America. Yeah, it felt awesome, and then on I kind of understood. I understood what the whole game was about then, and the beauty of that moment. It felt like Shadow of the Colossus. I know I brought it up a good bit, but Shadow of the Colossus, when you finally, like, you fall a dozen times off this great beast, and you're like, why am I doing this? And you go for one more, and you get it, and the absolute relief that washes over you, that victory, right? That moment of triumph. I love that, and that's what Death Stranding felt like. And even so much in the boss fights as well, they were really fun as well. I mean, geez, you've got Norman Reedus. I think he was probably the more boring of all the characters. I know that's crazy, but that seems to be one issue that's fallen down in video games, is the main character's not that interesting anymore, you know? Christ, I've not a true, very fun main character since, like, Geralt in The Witcher 3 or something, you know? Or Arthur from Red Dead 2, I suppose. I mean, yeah, that'd be a better, and a newer reference, I suppose. But yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of this. Let me see, who else? We had so many actors that I didn't know as well. I mean, but the ones I did know, like, it was cool to see Guillermo del Toro in there. I hope they work together. Even if it's not Silent Hills, I hope that Guillermo del Toro and Junji Ito and Norman Reedus all get together and make something like Silent Hills, because it's there. I can feel it, and Kojima wants to make a horror game, and I'm so down for that. I'm so down for it. Who else? Matt Mikkelsen, he definitely had one of the greatest performances in video games all year, maybe in a long time. I felt like they were holding their cards a little too close to their chest right until the end, and I know that's what the beauty of the payoff is, and I feel like the payoff is there. There's a lot to actually digest at the end. There's just so much going on, but it does kind of, it's batshit insane, but there is an ending there, and it makes some sort of sense. But and if he never makes another Death Stranding, I'd be okay with that. Not in a bad way. I feel like it's a work of art on its own. I know that's such a cheesy thing to say in video games, but it really is one of the most unique, strange, and powerful games I have played in a long while. A long while. Even just from rocking the fetus, the bridge baby, it's just everything. There was a lot of licensed music in the game as well. Low Roar definitely got about 16 albums worth in there, Jesus Christ. But it was a lot of fun. Like, I feel like that can wear down you a little bit. That's the beauty of, like, when Red Dead did it, or even Days Gone this year that did it. If you do it only like a handful of times throughout the game, it creates those powerful moments. But if you're doing it like a dozen times, where I feel like that's about how many songs are in the game, I know after a while you kind of feel like, okay, we've got a long stretch. Some of it was really powerful. Other times, yeah. So like I said, this list has been kind of crazy. They're all 9s. Even Death Stranding being number 1 on my list is still not a 10 out of 10. The main issue with the game for me was the bike. That was the only thing that pissed me off. I could deal with, I love the zip line, I love the little skateboard floating carrier you had, but the bike was a complete another letdown. What a cool design, what a cool concept. Everything was there except the fact that it barely ever was able to work. Like, the simplest of terrain would mess you up, and that really kind of screwed me over. I was not too happy about that at all, because I wanted that bike to be so cool, you know. I know I'm just playing the same trailer over and over again, because I like this trailer because it's the first trailer we ever saw. It was so fucking weird, so weird. There's so many ideas in the game, so many references. People can pretty much put their own little umbilical cords towards different ideas and theories and that. And a game that can get that kind of spark going and make you keep thinking about it after you're finished the game, I feel like that is a huge testament to the game, right? If you think about that, how many games have you turned and burned where you're finished, you're like, I enjoyed that, but you enjoyed it like a fast food meal where you forget about it after you're fucking finished it. But if a game stays with you, even if it's for a week or two or a month or whatever, the longer the better. It means that it affects you somehow, right? There's a power there. And that's the beauty of fucking video games. And Death Stranding stayed with me in all the crazy ways. Even the most frustrating parts, because there was frustrating parts, you know. That's the beauty of it. That is the beauty. I think that makes the payoff all the more sweeter. And that's why this game is my game of the year. Because it is batshit insane. If that's not a good reason, nothing is. Special shout out goes to Code Vein. This was an awesome game we played this year. I played it with the one and only proper play. And I feel like that is why this game will really kind of stay in my memory for a long time. It'll go down in history anyway. It was an awesome playthrough. So many laughs. What a great little series that was. And I would love to see them do more. This was Bandai Namco. They did a great job from the God Eater team as well. And it was so much fun. Another kind of Souls-like meets vampires and anime. I enjoyed it. And it was all the more sweeter with the moments with proper play. Definitely. And hopefully we can do more collabs like that next year. Hell yes. And that is the end of my Game of the Year 2019 video. Thank you so much for all the support over the year, guys. It's been a crazy year, 2019. I know I've been focusing a lot on Twitch, but I hope in 2020 to kind of get a better balance going. There's so many things I want to do over on the YouTube channel. We'll be trying out some things, experimental things. We'll see how it goes, especially with the way things are going over there. You just don't know, right? You don't know. As for Twitch, I mean, I would love to keep pushing and pushing. I'm hoping to maybe get merch going, and if you guys are around on the 30th of just before we bring in the new decade of video game, new generation of video games, I'll be launching my first ever podcast. It's going to be a gaming podcast, probably like an hour and a half. I hope you guys can join. The first topic is going to be most anticipated games of 2020. So I've got a list. We're going to break it down, watch some trailers, talk about video games, just doing things that we love, you know. I would love to see you guys there. As for next year, like I said, 2020 is going to be one of the biggest years in video game history. Like fucking going back to 07, that was a huge year. 08, 2013 was pretty big as well, the launch of that console. Next year we've got the launch of the Xbox Series X, which is, I know it's a strange name, and of course the PS5. We'll see what that looks like. E3 is going to be fucking crazy. Then we've got a massive list of games. Like starting off for me, January alone, we've got like the new Dragon Ball Z Kakarot open world Dragon Ball Z game. I cannot fucking wait. March we've got like Final Fantasy 7 remake. April we've fucking Resident Evil 3 remake and Cyberpunk 2077. Like, that's just to name a few. Dying Light 2, so many. If you come to that podcast, I'll have the whole list. But next year it's going to be crazy. I've also have the Switch now as well, so I think I'll probably kick off next year with Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I've not played it. I'd love to stream that. That would be a beautiful meaty game to soak in after all the food we had over Christmas. Yeah, that's it. That's the end. This is me kind of saying goodbye to 2019. It's been a crazy year. It went very quick. Holy Christ. But you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for the support everywhere. Just the constant support, you know. It's one thing coming into a stream every now and then, but it's another thing showing up every day, hanging out with this Egypt. But I appreciate you guys so much. You've no idea. I'm just gonna keep trying to get things and evolve, you know. I don't want to say grind and push and all that kind of stuff, because I feel like that stuff would burn you out so quick. And it's one thing that hasn't happened to me yet is the big burnout. So hopefully it won't. Just got to keep things fun, keep things awesome. And I just want to be here for you guys, because you guys are here for me. I fucking love playing games. I love hanging out with you guys. Here's to you guys. Here's to 2020. Let's fucking do it. Hell yes!